So we're going to be jumping into the latest sneaker news updates, kicking things off with this weekend's big Jordan retro release as we got the Fire Red 5s returning, which if you're actually looking to secure your pair ahead of Saturday's release, go ahead and check your JD Sports Finish Line account as it looks like they are granting early access for select members. And when you talk about this release right here, an OG Jordan brand classic, which we've seen a lot of these OGs dropping this year. So you guys feel like this Saturday's drop is going to sell out instantly, or let's just say, for example, you've been buying a whole bunch of shoes this year. You want to let your pockets breathe just a little bit. Do you guys feel like this sneaker could potentially sit, making this a release, which maybe you could pick up at a later date? Drop your predictions down below, which I'm not even going to lie, just based off this image right here, these joints are looking definitely beautiful. Now, it looks like we also have a first look at the upcoming Nigo Air Force 3. This one's actually going to be a collaboration with Levi. So it looks like the Nigo Nike partnership continues, this time bringing another interesting partnership to the mix here with this Levi's collaboration, which coming off those Air Max 95s, some releases which it seems like sneakerheads were definitely rocking with. It's going to be interesting to see, what the public's response to this upcoming collaboration will be. My guess is that a lot of people are going to be checking for these, which it looks like these two pairs feature two separate different washes of denim. So I'm not even gonna lie, these are definitely looking pretty cool. Set to drop coming up fall of 2025, retailing for $150. And of course, speaking of the Air Max 95, if you guys haven't noticed by now, Nike's been celebrating the 30th anniversary of this sneaker in a very special way, hitting us with a whole bunch of good releases, all featuring that big bubble. And when you talk about this pair right here, the Air Max 95 Zip, this is actually a sneaker which we originally saw drop in like the early 2000s, but it looks like Nike's bringing it back for the anniversary in a major way. Big bubble and all set to release coming up this holiday of 2025, which it looks like both of these pairs are going to be retailing for $200. And I love everything that Nike's been doing with the Air Max 95s, from the OG colorways to some of these cool collaborations which we've seen dropping. But I'm not even gonna lie, the zipper joints, while I don't feel like they look too bad, it's kind of giving me like a Nike hybrid type of vibe, and I feel like this one will be kind of a tough sell, as far as sneakerheads. But as you guys know, if they make these limited, like exclusive like that, I'm sure Nike will have no problem moving these for $200 a pop. Now next up, we're going to switch gears over to Adidas, which it looks like they're going to be dropping a Hellstar Adidas Superstar, and it's coming so soon that it looks like we got a little clip of this upcoming release, which I'm not even gonna lie, Hellstar, they've definitely started off with some humble beginnings, but now they pretty much expanded to the point where they're almost as recognizable as like other streetwear brands like Supreme. So that's definitely giving them props right there. As far as this collaboration, I think it's cool. It kind of reminds me of something like we saw with, say, like the Adidas Corn collaboration. So this should be a cool look. And when you talk about Hellstar and Adidas teaming up, it'll be interesting to see if we have like any apparel releasing alongside this. And when you talk about these Adidas collabs, it's not stopping there. As reported by Brandon, one of these sneaker insiders from over on Twitter, we can also look forward to a Spider Adidas Superstar dropping as well. So not only Hellstar, you got Spider. That's a brand by Young Thug, which of course, his name's ringing bells right now with all the headlines surrounding all that chaos with the snitching and all that good stuff, which we're not going to get into right now. But Hellstar, Spider, pretty cool look for Adidas, which I feel like the Superstar has to be the hottest originals model right now. And then of course Brandon, he just posted this image today, which you got the Adidas logo, Anthony Edwards logo, and Hellstar. So that's a crazy mashup right there. It looks like Adidas, they're getting into their collab bag. First we had the AE Edison Chen collab, which never officially dropped to the public, but I think a Hellstar Adidas AE2 potentially could get very interesting, or Superstar. We'll have to wait on that one, but that one's definitely going to be a cool one. And then speaking of Adidas, we have a release date for the Fear of God Derrick Rose collaboration, which this is a model which we've seen surface recently on the feet of NBA legend Derrick Rose, a shoe which at one point, we never knew if it was officially going to get a retail drop, but it looks like these will be dropping coming up October 1st, retailing for $180. And when you talk about the Adidas Fear of God collaboration, I would highly recommend, like, let's say if you guys could just cool out on this release right here, don't panic to jump and buy these, because more so than likely you can catch these joints on sale, which as far as these Adidas Fear of God releases, for the most part, all of them joints have been hitting outlets going on sale. But this is definitely a special one. Salute to Derrick Rose. not a bad looking shoe at all, but maybe one which if you hold out, more so than likely, you could pick up on sale. And we have a New Balance update, which they've been partnering up with rapper Aminé, which we did previously see this like super bright green pair of 2000s, and it looks like he has another pair on the way, which they're calling this one Biblioteca, which this color definitely reminds me of something like, say, you could see from like J Tips, right? What he's doing over there at Saucony, or even something like the Lil Yachty Air Force Ones, you know, like patent leather, bright, colorful vibes going on. So I'm not mad at these at all. I think these are better than the green pair, which he showcased. But it looks like with this one, these are going to be super exclusive, limited to just 100 pairs as some type of Portland exclusive release coming up here in September. So not a bad look from rapper Aminé, but for them to be that exclusive to just 100 pairs, it's like, what's even the point, right? I guess, but of course, to build buzz and hype and everything. And we got official images for the Travis Scott Jordan 1 Fragment collaboration, which this is one we've been seeing for years now. It feels like, not even gonna lie. At one point there was word that this would be a Travis Scott exclusive release, but now that official images have been loaded onto the back end of Nike's servers, it looks like this now does confirm the September 20th release date. And when you talk about a shoe like this, you guys already know what to expect. Super overhyped. Everybody's gonna try to enter, but only a select few will actually have success on this drop. And based off the resale market prices currently for a shoe which hasn't dropped just yet, you already know this one's definitely gonna be a bloodbath. A shoe which I could really care less about. I mean, I guess I'll go ahead and enter the raffle, you know, just to do a quick little flip on these right here, because why not if they're selling for like over $1,000, right? And then as far as official images, we got these Travis Scott joints. And then a controversial one, we got the Tom Sachs Nike Craft Mars Yard 3.0, which people have been doing challenges all month to be able to get an opportunity to purchase this shoe. And it looks like we now have a confirmation of a Sneakers app release date coming up here on the 13th. And what makes this one even more interesting, it looks like this was actually discovered on the Sneakers app in Brazil, where this was loaded up. A very interesting description to which Nike actually kind of responds to some of the controversy, some of the problems that Tom Sachs has been dealing with, you know, over the last few years. So it says, even if you weren't involved in the sneaker world in the 2010s, you know that Tom Sachs Mars Yard sneaker, released in partnership with Nike, is one of the most coveted releases of the last decade. The original and 2.0 versions are among the few sneakers that the culture fully agrees deserve the coveted Grail status. So what y'all think about that? And then the final sentence, the nail in the coffin, talking about after 2 difficult years for Tom Sachs, he officially unveiled the Mars Yard 3.0. So reading is fundamental, people. After 2 difficult years for Tom Sachs, that's why people are so pissed, because with all of the allegations happening with Tom Sachs, all he had to do was just lay low and be quiet. So like, how difficult of a time has Tom Sachs had just chilling, laying low, just waiting for his big comeback? So this is a statement which it seems like maybe Nike should double back on. Maybe they should possibly suspend the intern who actually wrote this statement. And when you talk about the upcoming drop, I guarantee you, once we see these officially loaded up for the Sneakers app here in the US, they're most definitely gonna change that entire statement right here. So it looks like Nike has officially responded to the whole Tom Sachs controversy. Maybe not in the right way. Maybe they didn't outright, mean to, say things just like that. But talking about a difficult 2 years for Tom Sachs, if you ask me, the last 2 years have been pretty sweet for Tom Sachs, who has just been laying low. And now he's back in a major way. So drop your feedback. Let me know what you guys think about all the sneakers covered here in today's video. And as I asked you guys earlier in the video, when you talk about those fire red 5s, you guys feel like that's going to be an instant sellout, or maybe one which people can double back on, if they're just letting their pockets cool down a little bit. JATV, until next time, stay safe, stay blessed. I'm out, y'all. Love.